of course, get into what's happening in the schools, the re-education camps, literally, where they brainwash and terrorize children for mind control. Of course, the average cop doesn't even realize they're part of a literal reinvention of Soviet mind control. Literally. So let's go ahead and go back to Jessica in Texas. Go ahead and finish up.
Well, I was going to say, we have our own treasonous little Bilderberger right here in this city. Why? I mean, Rick Perry, what's he still doing sitting up there on his seat?
Well, he's feeling the heat, so he's saying, I'm a patriot, I'm against the New World Order, I'm against federal tyranny.
Okay, but we have actual proof that he has committed treason. Why is he not in jail right now?
Because the state police and everybody else are under his control.
Well, then I guess citizens arrest? I mean...
I appreciate your call.
My question really is, if the system is set up to prevent them, or prevent us from getting to them and putting them on trial, then really, seriously, what are we going to do?
Well, they've overthrown our system, and we've got to get it back. Let me try to break this down. If enough people are just awake to their crimes and don't go along with it and just start saying criminal, criminal everywhere they go, instead of groveling to authority and badges and uniforms and signets of authority, and we're already on our way to discrediting them and their system falling. That's why they're taking the velvet glove off the iron fist and coming in aggressively now. So that's one issue.
That's all I pretty much had to say. Thank you for your show.
Thank you so much. We're going to let you go. Thank you, Jessica, from Texas. Now, talking about fantasy, I mean, what's the quickest way to get the bankers arrested? You have a couple dozen grand juries start indicting or calling for indictments of Geithner and Summers and everybody who engineered the crisis we're in and did all this illegal stuff. They can't kill all the grand juries. It would become obvious if they did. They'd probably still try it, and that would really wake folks up. See, as more people stand up and say no, others start standing up and saying no. That's why when Eliot Spitzer wrote one article saying it was a criminal fraud what was going on as governor, he had skeletons in his closet. He was visiting a hooker, and they burned him with it, and it turned out he was under FBI surveillance the whole time. Just like every member of Congress is under NSA surveillance 24/7, and I've told you that for years, and it's now public, and they admit they do it without warrants. You wonder why Congress is told by the presidency, you run nothing, and they say, yes, sir, boss, when they are equal to the president or above the president in the structure of power? Because they're spying on them, and they got all the dirt, or they'll make dirt up. I mean, they blow up congressmen's planes and senators' planes all the time. I mean, these people are in power because they are murderers. They're criminals. And a lot of Americans said, oh, so what? That's how America gets stuff done. But now they're going to take your pension funds. Now they're going to brainwash your kids against you. See, they want it all. So you would have a dozen or so grand juries move for indictments on different issues, and it would just start a snowball, just like it is now with all these big globalists like Madoff and others caught stealing tens of billions of dollars and being at the highest echelons. That shows people these are crooks. We're getting to that point. Hell, 98% of Americans don't like the bankers. See, we are the majority. They got a tiger by the tail. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Brian in Texas who disagrees. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Alex, how's it going? And listen, what I disagree about was nothing you talked about today, but I got a little bit, I don't know, not offended because this is such important stuff, but I'm a former, I guess, Republican right-winger who, just didn't believe, I just thought this stuff was too dastardly to believe. And yesterday you were going on and on about we want to be scammed, we love it, we're stupid, and look, dude, that's just not it. People don't know. And I didn't know this stuff. And I listened to you. I researched it myself. I didn't just swallow what you said. And I'm shocked and I believe it. But, I think what's happening, Alex, is there's fixing to be a big cabal. Because, I used to be a big Rush fan until I started listening to you. And, dude, he is getting closer and closer. He's dancing around everything you're saying. And I don't know, but I think if these two forces come together, you need to claim credit. and you can become, I mean, bigger than everybody. But I wouldn't go and start throwing rocks at everybody who can't get their arms around this.
I understand. It's just that when I see that every major vaccine's killing people left and right, and killing people I know, and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people that still go out and take the vaccines, that still think the Federal Reserve is governmental, that still think the government's legitimate. I'm not talking about you. And listen, the reason this radio show is popular is because this is real. This isn't entertainment. This isn't a shtick. This is they see me here at the office. They know I'm freaked out. I mean, I mean this. I'm like, get me more documents, get me more proof. We've got to fight them. I've got to control myself to just go home. Even though I love my family and my children and want to spend time with them, they have no future if I don't stay down here in the boiler room and get these pipes fixed. And man, it shakes me up. It freaks me out to study Soviet brainwashing techniques in schools and then to see exactly that in the United States. I'm freaked out, man, and I don't know how everybody else doesn't see it and isn't freaked out. And as for Rush Limbaugh, Rush has been consistently the way he is, so I don't really attack him like I do with Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is an operative, and I'll tell you right now, I can tell he is, and I know what I'm talking about. Limbaugh, I know, is having to dance around this. Hillary Clinton came out yesterday and said she loves Ron Paul. And they introduced her on Hardball. I saw the intro to it. We have a clip from later in the show. As, oh, yeah, she used to be a Barry Goldwater girl. And suddenly Fox and CNN love Ron Paul, and MSNBC does. Because they know, sir, we are the majority now. We just don't know we're the majority. So they're trying to... It's like a U.S. tank attacking the Battle of the Bulge, painting itself gray so the Germans don't shoot at it. They have taken the colorations. There's lots of beetles and things that have the colorations of poison beetles, but they're not really poisonous. They're the false poison beetle, so that birds don't eat it. And so you got the real poison beetle to the New World Order, myself, Ron Paul, the real movement. So you've got them trying to look like the false poison beetle. You understand? And they're doing that because Rush Limbaugh has said for decades there's no world government, no New World Order, there's not a banking cabal, and now it's all being announced. So great, let Rush come along. I know he's come along, but he still reinforces it's left versus right. And so if you took that personally, sir, I wasn't talking about you. I was once ignorant to all of this as well. I'm just telling you, maybe the stress gets to me. I mean, it does. And I get very, very aggressive. Anything else?
Yeah. Let me tell you my fear and what I see happening, Alex, is I see some of this resistance that is almost 100% attributable to you and your circle being absorbed, like you talked about, and that this guy Obama overreaches and the storm dissipates. But what happens then is you are really in the shadows at that point. And the war continues, and you become very vulnerable when they are not about to take over. It's when they recede and start to regroup is when your life is in danger.
Well, they're always on the move, and I'm so visible that they're more likely to keep trying to destroy me in the media. And I'm just committed. At this point, one way or the other, I'm just doing what I'm doing. But I appreciate your call. I just, growing up, I never knew I'd be in this position, and I never imagined. I was just like you. I never imagined that they were doing stuff like this. I mean, I don't blame people who can't wake up to this. But at this point, it's so obvious. I've still got major newspapers attacking me, saying none of this exists. I mean, he says there's a New World Order run by banks, and I've got literally 6 articles in my stack, mainstream news today, announcing it. And Obama's got the public conned. He's got like half the public still conned, going, oh, I think things are getting better under Obama. Oh, yeah, I agree. Meanwhile, he knows he's destroyed them financially. Let's talk to another caller here. Let's go to Revo, 76. You're on the air.
Mr. Jones.
Hey.
How are you, sir?
Good.
Thank you very much for the Obama deception. It didn't wake me up, but it was a beautifully well-done DVD. Beautiful. I have it on hard copy. Beautiful.
Well, good. The point is, you were already awake. We got to wake others up.
Of course. I mean, I'm arguing with people on MySpace about 9/11 still. I mean, I can't believe it. These are Bush supporters, Reagan supporters. I mean, Reagan was a puppet. They're all puppets. I mean, even on the Obama deception, Kennedy was the last real president we had. I don't know what's wrong with people. They're not that they're sleeping. They're just brainwashed. They're morons. I mean, I was born in a police state, New York City. Grew up in Brooklyn. Okay, I'm down in North Carolina now. Beautiful. I can have my guns. I can have my freedom. I can grow my gardens. It's beautiful. Even the air is fresh. I mean, I do see occasional chemtrails, of course, and I do believe that. Everything you said is documented. I spoke to you last April about, The Hunt for Bin Laden, the book I read. I've been awake to all this crap to a degree, but once I listen to you, I've been listening to you almost every day, your show, every day for 2 years. Everything you say, I can document. I can find it myself. It's not BS.